major decline in credit scores is latest blow to U.S. recovery, providing yet another headwind for economic recovery. FICO, a leading provider of credit scores, said more Americans are seeing their average credit scores fall to new lows. The shift is significant not just because of its magnitude, but also because the repercussions of these lower credit scores will be with us for a long time to come. The numbers also paint a picture of increasingly polarized consumer base. On the bright side, more people are beginning to achieve a credit score of over 800, the top tier of credit worthiness. That's because many people have cut spending and are paying down debt in response to tighter credit and uncertain economic times. And there's another small one I'm going to read. More American credit scores sink to new lows. The credit scores of millions more Americans are sinking to new lows, which shows that 25.5% of consumers, nearly 43 and 2/5 of a million people, have a credit score of 599 or below, making them as poor risks for lenders. It's unlikely they will be able to get credit cards, auto loans, or mortgages under the tighter lending standards banks now use. Because consumers relied so heavily on debt to fuel their spending in recent years, their restricted access to credit is one reason for the slow economic recovery. I don't get paid for loan applications. I get paid for closings, said Rich Workman, a Melbourne, Florida mortgage broker. I have plenty of business, but I'm struggling to stay open. So if we look at this article a little in depth, the decline in credit scores is a blow to the recovery. That's tough for me to read because you told us that the recovery was going to come here, and you've been ignoring the fact that debt is guaranteed. I've known this information now for years. And I don't spend that much time researching debt and this particular facet of how money is created. I'm sure that, well, the people in Wall Street, people in the Federal Reserve would know that debt would be guaranteed. But when you look at this even more carefully, it says at the bottom, uncertain economic times. Yet they've been telling us certainly that we're having a U.S. recovery. A little contradicting, in my opinion. And if we look at the second article, and the links to both of them are in the more information box, it says here that consumers relied so heavily on debt. Now, why is that? Why have they relied so heavily on this? Did people rely on debt well before bankers even existed? Is it possibly that we are forced into this because, well, the money system, it's a monopoly by central bankers to enslave us we are forced to play the game of fiat dollars. And the game setup is obvious that debt is guaranteed. Simple mathematics can state this. And is it any surprise that these credit scores are sinking? A lot of times when you read these articles, they're not going to give us the information that is necessary. And well, I've been stating on this channel for quite some time how debt is guaranteed. Guaranteed. Not only for the consumer, every person, or at least combined, the majority of people will have the debts. The same with countries, same with banks, anyone who borrows money. And you can listen to Ben Bernanke state, well, for the recovery to happen, the banks have got to be lending again. And what's that going to do? It's going to cause more debt. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen when more and more people wake up in the combination of Gerald Salente's line, when you got nothing left to lose, you lose it. But this can't go on. This can't go on. For change to happen, the people need to want change to happen, which would come in a form like a revolution. And there are many different techniques to be part of it. And it's not just going and making YouTube videos or going to local protest rallies, although that is a way. One simple way is to eliminate your need within the banking system, whether it be closing them down completely or leaving the bare minimums needed for whichever payments that you have. Not using your credit cards. Not taking out a mortgage and renting instead. So many different methods that can be done. But debt has been guaranteed. It is guaranteed. We're seeing the situations. They're trying to tell us a recovery is happening, yet debt is going to make it worse. Well, what are they going to say when the United States goes through its defaulting purposes? Are we still going to be in the recovery? Yeah, you figure that out. Thank you for watching.